At 90 years old, Edna Miller was crawling on her kitchen floor, unable to stand. The pain shooting through her back felt like lightning bolts piercing straight through her spine. But what happened next changed everything she thought she knew about back pain relief. In less than 20 minutes, this grandmother went from crawling to walking upright, using nothing but something growing in her own backyard for 30 years. If you want to discover this incredible natural remedy that's helped thousands of seniors reclaim their independence, hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. You won't want to miss what Edna discovered. Edna Miller has been tending her garden in rural Kansas for over 60 years. Every morning at sunrise, she'd walk through her rows of tomatoes, beans, and the wild mustard plants that seemed to grow everywhere. Most folks would call them weeds, but Edna always let them be. Something about those bright yellow flowers reminded her of her great-grandmother's stories from the old country. On that Tuesday morning in March, Edna was reaching for her watering can when her lower back seized up completely. The pain was so sudden and severe that she collapsed right there on her kitchen floor. For the first time in decades, this strong, independent woman couldn't get up. Her neighbor found her 2 hours later, still on that cold linoleum floor. The fear in Edna's eyes wasn't just about the pain. It was about losing the one thing that mattered most to her, her independence. At 90, she'd seen too many friends end up in nursing homes after a fall, never to return to their own kitchens, their own gardens, their own lives. The doctor wanted to prescribe strong painkillers and talk about assisted living options. But that night, as Edna lay in bed unable to find a comfortable position, something stirred in her memory. Fragments of conversations from her childhood, whispered words in broken English from her great-grandmother Rosa, who had traveled from Germany with nothing but a worn leather pouch of seeds. The yellow seeds, little Edna. She could almost hear Rosa's voice. When the back cries out in pain, the yellow seeds know how to make it quiet again. For 70 years, those words had been buried in the back of Edna's mind. But pain has a way of awakening memories we thought were lost forever. As another wave of agony shot through her spine, Edna remembered something else. Those mustard plants in her garden weren't just weeds. They were the same plants Rosa had grown behind their old farmhouse, the same yellow flowers that bloomed every spring without fail. Could it be that the solution to her pain had been growing right outside her window all along? That night, as sleep remained elusive and the pain relentless, Edna made a decision that would change not just her life, but the lives of countless others who would hear her story. But what Edna discovered the next morning would challenge everything modern medicine tells us about back pain relief. The next morning came too soon for Edna. Every small movement sent shockwaves through her body, but something stronger than pain was driving her. The ghost of her great-grandmother's voice and a growing certainty that those mustard plants held a secret she needed to unlock. Using her walking stick for support, Edna slowly made her way to her garden. The March morning was crisp, and those familiar yellow mustard flowers swayed gently in the breeze, almost as if they were calling to her. She carefully collected a handful of the mature seed pods, their tiny black and brown seeds rattling inside like nature's own medicine bottles. Back in her kitchen, Edna's arthritic hands trembled as she cracked open the pods. The seeds were smaller than peppercorns, hard and pungent when crushed. She closed her eyes and tried to remember more of Rosa's words. Something about grinding. Them, something about warmth, something about faith in the old ways. What Edna didn't know then was that mustard seeds contain powerful compounds called glucosinolates, natural substances that create heat and increase blood flow when activated with moisture and warmth. For centuries, European folk healers had used mustard plasters to treat everything from chest congestion to joint pain. The tradition had traveled across the ocean in the hearts and minds of immigrants like Rosa, even when it couldn't fit in their suitcases. Following instinct more than memory, Edna ground a tablespoon of the seeds with the back of a wooden spoon until they formed a coarse powder. The smell was sharp, almost overwhelming, like the earth itself was releasing its healing power. She mixed the powder with just enough warm water to form a thick paste, then spread it on a clean cotton cloth. Her hands shook as she positioned the cloth against her lower back. The sensation was immediate, a warm, tingling heat that seemed to penetrate deep into her muscles. For the first few minutes, the heat intensified until it was almost uncomfortable. But then, something miraculous began to happen. The constant, grinding ache that had been her companion for 2 days started to fade. The muscle spasms that had kept her awake all night began to release their grip. Within 15 minutes, Edna could sit up straight without wincing. Within 20 minutes, she was standing upright for the first time since her fall. Tears streamed down her weathered cheeks, but they weren't tears of pain anymore. They were tears of gratitude for Rosa's wisdom, for the healing power that had been growing in her garden all along, and for the gift of hope when she had almost given up. But Edna's journey was just beginning. She knew this wasn't just about her anymore. If these simple seeds could give her back her independence, how many other people were suffering needlessly, unaware that relief might be growing right outside their door? That afternoon, Edna called her neighbor Martha, who had been complaining about her sciatic pain for months. By evening, Martha was walking without her cane for the first time in weeks. Word spread quickly through their small community, and soon Edna's phone was ringing with requests for her miracle remedy. But there was still more to discover. Through trial and careful observation, Edna began to refine her technique, uncovering secrets that would make this simple remedy even more powerful. Over the following weeks, Edna's kitchen became an unofficial laboratory. Neighbors arrived bent over with pain and left standing tall, each success teaching her something new about maximizing the healing power of mustard seeds. The first thing Edna learned was that not all mustard seeds are created equal. The yellow mustard seeds, scientifically known as Sinapis alba, proved to be the most effective for back pain relief. These seeds are milder than their brown or black cousins, making them perfect for therapeutic use without causing skin irritation. Here's Edna's complete method, refined through months of helping her community. The base remedy: start with 1 tablespoon of yellow mustard seeds. Grind them fresh using a mortar and pestle or the back of a sturdy spoon. Never use pre-ground mustard powder from the store, as it lacks the potency of freshly crushed seeds. The grinding releases the glucosinolates, which are the active compounds that create the healing heat. Mix the ground seeds with 2 tablespoons of warm water, not hot, just comfortably warm to the touch. The water activates the enzymes in the moit seeds, creating a chemical reaction that produces the therapeutic heat. Let this mixture sit for exactly 5 minutes. This waiting period is crucial. It's when the seeds transform from simple powder into healing medicine. Add 1 teaspoon of warm sunflower oil to the mixture. Edna discovered that sunflower oil has the perfect consistency to help the mustard compounds penetrate the skin while preventing irritation. The oil also extends the warming effect, allowing the medicine to work deeper and longer. The application technique: spread the mixture evenly on a clean cotton cloth. Never apply directly to skin. Place the cloth on the affected area and cover with a dry towel to trap the heat. The warming sensation will build gradually over the first 10 minutes, reaching its peak around the 15-minute mark. Most people experience significant pain relief within 20 minutes, but Edna learned that 30 minutes was the optimal treatment time for chronic pain. Remove the cloth and gently massage the area with warm sunflower oil to seal in the benefits. Powerful combinations. Through experimentation, Edna discovered that combining mustard seeds with other natural remedies could multiply the results for chronic lower back pain. She would prepare a ginger compress to use immediately after the mustard treatment. Fresh ginger root, grated and steeped in hot water, creates a different type of heat that complements the mustard's action. The ginger increases circulation, while the mustard relaxes deep muscle tension. For inflammation, Edna would have her neighbors drink turmeric tea 30 minutes before applying the mustard compress. 1 teaspoon of ground turmeric in warm milk with a pinch of black pepper helps reduce internal inflammation, while the mustard works on the external symptoms. For severe cases, she discovered that adding a pinch of coarse sea salt to the mustard mixture intensified the warming effect. The salt draws out toxins while increasing blood flow to the affected area. The science behind the relief. What Edna accomplished through intuition and tradition, modern research has now validated. Mustard seeds contain allyl isothiocyanate, a compound that triggers the release of endorphins, our body's natural painkillers. The heat generated by the seeds also increases blood flow, bringing fresh oxygen and nutrients to damaged tissues while helping remove waste products that contribute to pain and stiffness. The warming sensation you feel isn't just comfort, it's your body's healing response being activated. The heat also causes muscles to relax by reducing the electrical activity that creates spasms and tension. Important safety notes. Always test the mixture on a small area of skin first. Some people may be more sensitive to mustard than others. Never leave the compress on for more than 40 minutes and remove it immediately if you experience any burning sensation beyond mild warmth. But here's what surprised Edna most about her discovery. The healing went far beyond just physical relief. As word of her mustard seed remedy spread throughout their rural community, something beautiful began to happen that she never expected. Within 6 months, Edna's little farmhouse had become a pilgrimage site for people suffering from back pain. They came from neighboring counties, drawn by stories of the 90-year-old woman who had rediscovered an ancient remedy that doctors had forgotten. Each visitor brought their own story of chronic pain, failed treatments, and diminishing hope. Margaret, a 78-year-old retired teacher, had been wheelchair-bound for months due to severe sciatica. After just 3 applications of Edna's mustard seed remedy over 1 week, she was walking with just a cane. Within a month, she was tending her own garden again. Robert, a 72-year-old veteran, had suffered from lower back pain for 20 years after a military injury. Prescription medications had helped initially, but came with side effects. That affected his quality of life. The mustard seed treatment gave him relief, without the fog of pharmaceutical side effects, allowing him to be fully present with his grandchildren for the first time in years. What moved Edna most was watching people rediscover their independence. Pain has a way of shrinking our world, making us afraid to move, afraid to live fully. But as the mustard seeds worked their magic, she watched her neighbors stand taller, walk farther, and reclaim activities they thought they'd lost forever. The secret, Edna realized, wasn't just in the seeds themselves. It was in the combination of ancient wisdom, consistent application, and most importantly, faith in the body's ability to heal itself when given the right support. Your path to natural relief. If you're ready to try Edna's method, start tonight. Yellow mustard seeds are available at most health food stores or online. Begin with the basic recipe: 1 tablespoon of freshly ground seeds, 2 tablespoons of warm water, and 1 teaspoon of sunflower oil. Apply for 20 minutes and pay attention to how your body responds. Remember, this isn't a quick fix that works once and disappears. Like Edna discovered, the most profound healing happens when we commit to caring for ourselves consistently, treating our bodies with the respect and patience they deserve. Your back pain didn't develop overnight, and lasting relief takes time. But with each application, you're not just treating symptoms, you're reconnecting with a tradition of natural healing that has sustained humanity for generations. The greater truth. Edna's story reveals something our modern world has forgotten: that sometimes the most powerful medicines aren't found in laboratories or pharmacies. They're growing in our gardens, passed down in whispered conversations from grandmother to grandchild, waiting for someone brave enough to remember. At 93 now, Edna still tends her garden every morning. The mustard plants still grow. Wild along her fence line, their yellow flowers a reminder that healing often comes not from fighting our pain, but from working with the wisdom of nature. The pain that once left her crawling on her kitchen floor hasn't returned. But more importantly, neither has the fear of losing her independence, her dignity, her connection to the life she loves. Your journey starts now. Don't let another day pass living in pain when relief might be as simple as yellow mustard seeds and warm water. Your body has been waiting for you to remember what Edna discovered, that you have more power over your pain than you ever realized. Tonight, before you go to bed, take the first step. Get the seeds, make the mixture, and give your back the natural relief it's been craving. Because like Edna learned, sometimes the best solutions have been right in front of us all along, waiting for someone brave enough to try them. If Edna's story has opened your eyes to the power of natural healing, I want to hear about your experience. Try the mustard seed remedy tonight and come back to tell us how it worked for you in the comments below. Your story could be the encouragement someone else needs to finally find relief. Hit that subscribe button if you want to discover more forgotten remedies that can transform your health naturally. Give this video a thumbs up to help spread Edna's wisdom to others who are suffering in silence. And most importantly, share this video with someone you know who's been struggling with back pain, because everyone deserves to live without the fear and limitation that chronic pain brings. Remember, every time you choose natural healing over quick fixes, you're not just helping yourself, you're honoring the wisdom of generations who understood that true health comes from working with our bodies, not against them. What natural remedy will you try next? The journey to pain-free living starts with a single step, and that step is waiting for you right now.